You're having a great round of golf and you flub a chip. Does this happen to you every single time you're playing golf? If it is, I want you to hit like, hit subscribe, and watch this next video. I'm going to simplify the game of golf when it comes to chipping for you. No more hocus pocus. It's just a simple method to teach you actually how to become a better chipper by using your right palm to simplify the entire methodology. Let's lower your golf score. Putting, chipping, and pitching, that's the way that you are going to lower your golf score. And follow my methodology, and I'm absolutely going to do that. Let's go. Hello, I'm Ben Mutz from Ben Mutz Golf, and today's segment is going to be on chipping. The simplest fact of chipping the golf ball, 3 yards, 5 yards, and 10 yards. I'm going to teach you how to become a master of distance control when chipping, so you can start not just saving strokes, but getting up and down like a magician and start lowering your golf score. So what is chipping? Chipping is a simple fact that we have to chip the ball. I like these three factors: 3 yards, 5 yards, and 10 yards. Can you extend it out to a further chip shot? Yes, but for today, we're going to be talking about a 3 yard, a 5 yard, and a 10 yard chip. So what we'd like to do is, what I like to do in my chipping is like all my students to work with a 60-degree or a 58-degree wedge to begin with, because this golf club is versatile and you can hit like many, many golf shots with it. So we're going to talk to you about the theories and how I made this simple. A couple of things that happen here is that when I have a golf lesson with a student and they've taken chipping lessons, and I'll have them stand up there and actually chip a golf ball, one of the questions I'll ask them is that, where are you playing the ball within your stance? So today we're going to talk about where the ball position in your stance, where our hands start off to begin the chip shot, and actually how we use our right palm to actually hit the golf ball. So a lot of times my student will say, well, my last teacher taught me to play the ball far back in my stance, and I'll ask them, how far is far? Meaning, is it from here all the way to Lake Michigan? So how far is far? So what we're going to do here is I want you to get really specific on ball position. If you're going to become consistent in chipping, ball position is a primary factor of this consistency. Now let's talk about trajectory. When we have the ball placed properly in our stance, okay, in a certain position, that's going to dictate the trajectory of the golf ball. I mean, if I do play the ball further back, the trajectory is going to be lower. If I play forward, the trajectory is going to be higher. Now, body weight position here. Now listen very, very closely. If you find yourself actually chili dipping a chip shot, not hitting it solid, I'm talking about all the fundamentals that create a successful golf shot. So let's start from the very beginning. First and foremost, if I'm chipping the ball in this direction and I have a perfect target line, meaning where I want to land the golf ball, the first thing that needs to be done is that the leading edge of the golf club, okay, has got to go directly behind the golf ball at right angles to exactly where I'm aiming. That's position number one. So a lot of times I'll see people on a driving range, they'll be chipping the ball, they'll get their body motion going here, or hitting the golf ball, they'll get their body going every which way, and then put the club face down. And that's not the way that we do it. It's club face, body, club face, body. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put the club face down, using an imaginary target, perfect target going in this direction here. The very first segment is I put the club face down exactly where I want the ball to go to. Now the next move when you're chipping, okay, because we're getting really specific on the ball position, is that there's 3 body parts that I teach initially for chipping. So the very next move is that I'm going to put my right foot and I'm going to open up my stance before I begin the motion here. And the reason why I have an open stance when I'm chipping the golf ball is that I want my arms to be able to go freely back and through, and not get stuck. When you watch golf on television, you're going to see all the touring pros, guys and gals, their body's going to be slightly open. Some it's a little bit open. Okay, one of the major players, Dustin Johnson, he literally chips like this. So the open stance is what clears our arms to go through our body without getting stuck. So again, leading edge of the golf club behind the golf ball. So what I do here then is I get really specific with my students. There's 3 body parts where I want the ball to be played off of. Okay, open stance. So in the first segment is the ball is going to be played off my right heel. So we're going to experiment with that, okay? Then the next body part is off our baby toe. We experiment with that. And the next body part's our big toe. And you'll find out what body parts out of these 3s that allows you to be most consistent. So that's the first thing. If you're not consistent with having the ball placed properly within your body in terms of your body part, knowing exactly where the ball is and why it's there, you're never going to be consistent when you get into the physical stroke. So the club face behind the golf ball, I put my body place in this demonstration. I'll take the ball off my little baby toe right here. Now, here's one of the key factors in successful chipping, okay? Now remember, I'm going to break this down to you very systematically. Center of gravity. My center of gravity is going to go over my left inner heel. When we are chipping a golf ball, we do not use our lower body because this is not a distance shot. This is a control shot. So on a full swing, in my methodology, what I teach, on a full swing at impact, the weight gets over the left inner heel. So when chipping, we pre-position our center of gravity over our left inner heel. So again, let me show you again. Club face. I'm going to use our little baby toe right here. Okay, put my feet close together. I'm not using my lower body to hit the golf ball. I lean forward, put that weight over my center of gravity over my left inner heel. Now here's one of the key factors. Your right palm is always going to start off your left inner thigh in my method. In fact, all my students are instructed to say right palm off left inner thigh check. Now listen to this very closely. Every single successful golf shot hit on the PGA Tour at impact, that right palm is back to the left inner thigh, okay, precisely exactly when the club face hits the back of the golf ball. So in chipping, I can pre-position all of this before I begin motion. Again, let's review again. Club face, ball position off my baby toe. I'm going to lean forward, my hands off my left inner thigh. Now this is the position, now this is the part that I'm going to teach you. All right, say these words out loud. If you're following the script so far, okay, hit like, hit subscribe. Say these words out loud. Where the right palm goes, so goes the club face. So this is a right palm dominant chipping stroke. The only thing you're going to connect is your mind's going to connect to your body part, which is your right palm. So in my putting method, which I've already taught you, if I want to make the ball go 3 yards on a flat surface, I take my right palm off my left inner thigh and take it back to my left testicle, and I say the words back and through. That's for 3 yards. For 5 yards, I take my right palm off my left inner thigh, take it back to my right testicle, and that ball is going to go 5 yards on a flat surface. So on a putting surface, I'm making the ball go 10 yards. Now right palm starts off my left inner thigh, goes back to my right inner thigh. That makes the golf ball go 10 yards on a flat surface. Now the chipping distances are identical body part to body part. There's two ingredients to any successful short game shot. That's how far the club face goes back and at what tempo. So in my method, I am always hitting the body part. Club face behind the golf ball, proper ball position off my baby toe, lean forward. Now my left hand's going to go off my left inner thigh. So when I take my right palm to my left testicle and say the words back and through, I'm going to learn for myself what timing and tempo that allows me to make that ball go 3 yards in the air, meaning this. The body part's the easy part. I can absolutely take my right palm off my left inner thigh and take it back to my left testicle simply just by me saying, take my right palm, put it on top of my head, put it on my nose, put it on my belly. So the mind tells the body what to do and everything we're doing. The hard part about the short game is the timing and tempo. So what we're not going to do in your chipping is stand over the golf ball trying to acquire the feeling and touch, trying to pick a spot out there, try to get the feeling and touch, because that's all nonsense, because that's all guesswork. It's a pretty simple theory. The palm is going to take the club face back to a certain body part, and then we're going to learn for ourselves what the timing and tempo is to make that ball go the necessary distance. So if I take my right palm off my left inner thigh, check. Okay, take my right palm off my left inner thigh, check. Weight on my left inner heel, take my right palm on my left testicle, say the words back and through. That ball is going to fly 3 yards in the air. And here's the cool part about the distance control. I'm going to teach you in a little bit, okay, how we can control the distance based on the rollout factors, okay, of every golf club based on the design of the golf club. Stick with me. The next segment, in a little bit here, I'm going to talk about golf club design. Totally worth your wait. Just stay on this channel. Hit like, hit subscribe. In a minute here, I'm going to talk to you about golf club design that's going to teach you the rollout factors and how far the ball goes. So again, if I'm consistent in my setup, I have a chance of being consistent when I'm stroking the golf ball. So now for a 5-yard chip shot, I'm going to take my right palm, put the club face down, get the weight off my left open stance, weight on my left inner heel. So I'm going to take my right palm off my left inner thigh to my right testicle, say the words back and through, okay, and that ball is going to go 5 yards in the air, okay? Now, once that ball hits the ground, based on the club design, which I'm going to teach you in a little bit, that's going to dictate the rollout factors when we're hitting that golf shot. So now on a 10-yard chip, watch very closely, okay? Club face behind the ball, okay? Get the weight off my left inner heel, right palm off my left inner thigh. Now I'm going to take my right palm back to my right inner thigh, which should be approximately right here, okay? Just like when I'm putting, this is the right palm off the left inner thigh, the right inner thigh. So when I'm chipping, I will know the spacing. So once you get the charts, when you go on there, we're going to put the charts on the body parts on this segment here. Once you actually do that and go in front of the mirror and have your right palm hit these body parts, this becomes easy wheezy. The body part's the easy part. The tempo is always the hard part. So the words that we use for the tempo are back and through. Now listen very closely, okay? And my full swing method, my timing and tempo for the full swing is heel, tick, heel, talk. I teach lower body weight transfer through proper feeding. So that's the timing and tempo on a full swing. And in a short game, the timing and tempo is back and through. Everyone say this, back and through. So imagine you're on a swing. The motion is I'm going back and through. I'm going back and through. I'm not going back and stop. I'm going back and through. So the pure motion stroke of back and through is what's going to allow you to become consistent in your timing and tempo. So what you're going to find out for your chipping tempo is what tempo allows the ball to go the necessary distance. Meaning, if I take my right palm back to my right inner thigh and I say back and through and the ball only goes 7 yards, that means my tempo was too slow. So in that case, for that example, it would be like back and through. So I know now that to get better at chipping, I have to find my proper timing and tempo for chipping. So in this case, it would be back and through. So club face behind the ball, this is for a 10-yard chip. Right palm off left inner thigh check. Right palm to right inner thigh check. Dimple on the ball, back and through. So that ball just went 10 yards. So now that we established how far the ball goes based on a body part to body part, a 3-yard, a 5-yard, and a 10-yard chip, how do we actually control the distance? So I like to use my 56, okay, or 60-degree wedge. That's a wedge. So what happens when I use my 50, 60-degree wedge, if the ball goes one part in the air on a flat surface, it's going to roll out one part. Meaning if it goes 10 yards in the air, it's going to roll out 10 yards. If it goes 5 yards in the air, it's going to roll out 5 yards. And then the only thing I do if I have to change the distances is I don't change the stroke. I have 3. I'm going to master 3 body part numbers. 3-yard, 5-yard, and 10-yard. Okay, I'm going to master the proper timing and tempo of back and through. And then if I have to control the distance, I just change the tool. So if I want to make the ball go 1 part in the air and 2-part rollout, I'll use my 52-degree wedge. Okay, and then if I want to make the ball go 1 part in the air and have it roll out 3 parts, I'm going to use my pitching wedge, and so on and so forth. Now, why is that? So in this demonstration, I love working with my 60-degree wedge because I can open the club face, close the club face, and have the ball make different trajectories. So why that changes and why the rollout factors change, if I step on the 60-degree wedge, this is the launch angle. Okay, boom. If I go here, the ball's going to launch up. So if it launches higher, it's going to roll less. Another little trick you can tell yourself, let's say if you're standing behind a tree, you just hit a beautiful drive, gets behind the tree, and we've all done this. We're looking there and saying, gee, can I hit the ball over the tree? Just step on the club head. That'll give you the launch angle that the engineer designed for that specific shot. So this 8-iron here, the launch angle is less. So my 8-iron is about 42 degrees. So on this launch angle, the ball's going to go out and roll out further. So for my 8-iron, the ball goes 1 part in the air. It's going to roll out 5 parts. So here's the cool part about my chipping method. Okay, we don't have to worry about feeling and tuss and gee, let me get a feel for what I'm trying to do here. You just need to do the math. Okay, where the right palm goes, so goes the club face. You're going to train yourself to make those balls go the necessary distance based on your body part to body part, taking it back to certain segments. I only want you to work on 3 body parts originally. Your 3-yard, which is your left testicle, 5 yards, your right testicle, right inner thigh, which is 10 yards. And then when you're playing and you're out there practicing, you just can change the distance that the ball rolls out simply by changing the club. You're not changing your swing. You're not decelerating. You're not accelerating. Okay? You're going to let the tool do the work for you. Now listen to me very closely. I'm going to teach you right now. This is the most important thing I'm going to teach you today. Okay? The major breakdown in golf from a 1-yard putt to a full swing drive is that when the right palm, watch me very closely, goes past the left hand at impact. So the right palm going past the left hand at impact is the #1 fault in golf. And up and down this driving range, this happens all day long. Okay? If your right hand at impact goes past your left hand, what that affects is the leading edge of the golf club. Now listen very closely. Every time we hit a successful golf shot, we hit down on the golf ball. And what I teach my students, I teach them a ton about golf club design, all right? So the leading edge of the golf club hits down on the golf ball. The ball rolls off the back of the club. That's what makes the golf ball go up in the air. So when we mishit a shot, we scull a shot or hit a shot thin, what happens is the leading edge of the golf club hits above the equator line and makes the ball spin down. And people say, gee, what happened? What was wrong with my swing? I was on YouTube and was my right elbow? What was it? No, what it was that this breakdown right here, okay, happened right at impact. Your right hand went past your left hand. That's a fact, simple fact. Unless you actually train yourself to have that right hand stay behind your left hand at impact, you're never going to reach your fullest potential. That and the lifting up of the head. So we see this happen all day long in my training. The student will do this and their head will lift up. And the reason why the head lifts up is because people want to see where the ball is going. And this is where the power of my method comes in. Because we already know the distance factors. Okay, I know that if I take my right palm off my left inner thigh and take it back to my right inner thigh, that ball is going to go 10 yards no matter what club I use. If I use a 7-iron, a 56-degree wedge, a pitching wedge, it's going to go 10 yards by me hitting the body part to body part by saying the proper timing and tempo as we're moving along here. So here's the way I want you to train yourself on. So how do we fix this fault of the right hand going past the left hand, which is really the major breakdown with majority of golfers that come to me is the right hand goes past the left hand on a 1 yard putt, a chip, a pitch, and then definitely on a full swing drive. And so here's the tip of the day. The mirror becomes your best friend. You're going to stand in front of the mirror and you're going to watch yourself with the right hand staying behind the left hand and saying the magic words of back and through. Back and through is grandma's secret recipe, okay? Say the words back and through. Find out what your chipping tempo is. My chipping tempo is back and through, back and through, back and through. It's back, no matter what golf course I'm playing, it's back and through because the only thing I'm controlling is how far the ball goes in the air and then let the design of the golf club and the rollout factors take place. So as you move along and keep studying with me on this YouTube, again, hit like, hit subscribe, leave your comments. Listen to this. Give me your comments. Good or bad, I want to hear your comments. Right? I'm going to teach you how to become a master of distance control when putting, chipping, and pitching, and your golf score is going to go down when you do this. Simple facts. Listen to this video over and over again. Pretty simple ingredients. Right palm starts off the left inner thigh. Center of gravity is over your left inner heel. Your body part's going to hit the body part that you proclaim. All right, you say the words back and through. Just touch a little bit based on the dimple. When you go into my videos, you hear me talk about the dimple here. I'm talking about the dimple as we move along in this whole process right here. But you pick out a dimple on the back of the golf ball, and you actually pretend that this is a hammer. This is the hammer handle. This is the hammer head, and that dimple is the nail head. And all you're doing is taking your right palm back and through and saying back and through and hitting down on that golf ball. All right. Great day today. Beautiful day in Chicago. Until next time, watch the Mutz method of golf. I'm going to lower your golf score.